uncomfortable conversation. Someone has been alleging for years now that you, one of the largest commentary creators on YouTube, knowingly committed a crime against her when she was a minor. But YouTubers and viewers alike are ignoring and discrediting these allegations solely because the person making them happens to be an unlikable woman online.
I'm just going to go ahead and immediately say that all this is alleged, so we need to take it with a grain of salt. But there is a lot of stuff that is corroborating the allegations, which are that Hannah Mojo and Kody Ko got together whenever she was a minor. If you don't know who Kody Ko is, he's a pretty big YouTuber with 6 million subscribers, and he does commentary style content. Now, if you're confused and don't know who this is, you're not alone, because I feel like I've heard the name before, but I have never seen a single video from this guy. So I really only found out about him today when several people have decided to finally make videos on him covering this topic. And a lot of people are defending him because Hannah Mojo is a very disliked person on the internet. And let's face it, Twitter is a giant cesspool. So most people on there are just completely contaminated with brain rot. And the channel that really brought this to light recently was D'Angelo Wallace. I have never heard of this guy before either today, but he seems like a good guy. And we're going to be kind of going over some of the parts of his video and discussing the controversy that's going on now. You know, I don't understand why there are so many YouTubers that keep doing this kind of stuff. Like, stick to someone that's legal age. Like, come on. Is it really that difficult? It shouldn't be that difficult for you. You're just completely ruining your own life too, throwing away everything you've worked for this entire time. 6 million subscribers you would jeopardize just because of that. That is extremely stupid, and I don't understand why anybody would do that. And I don't condone any actions with minors. It really seems like a YouTuber is popping up with some kind of allegations every single week now. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the video.
Solely because the person making them happens to be an unlikable woman online, Hannah Mojo. And you know that people are ignoring this because nobody is working harder to bury this story than you. And you're getting away with it because commentary YouTube has a serious problem. I can't blame any of your viewers or my viewers for not hearing about this because you've done such a good job hiding it up until now that I only found out about it recently. The situation has been talked about by smaller channels, it's been discussed at length on other platforms, and it keeps almost hitting the mainstream, like with this Rolling Stone article or this H3 podcast discussion. But the reason it hasn't caught on yet, despite all of this, is that none of your friends, nobody on your level, nobody in the commentary niche with enough pull is willing to admit that this situation makes you look terrible.
A lot of people like him a lot, and they really are like doing any kind of mental gymnastic to just ignore it.
I'm not here to accuse you of committing a crime in this video because I can't do that based on someone else's allegations. Nobody can definitively take these allegations as proof, but at the same time, they should still be looked at and not treated as an open secret and swept under the rug like you've been doing for so many years now. And from the way the situation keeps popping up more and more often, it's clear that there's only so much rug sweeping you can do before people start taking a closer look at things. So let's take a closer look. We both know that Hannah Mojo is a YouTube personality with a history of lies, controversy, and genuinely problematic behavior that's become so entangled with her brand that her podcast is called Cancelled with Hannah Mojo. And speaking of this podcast, about a month ago, she hosted a live episode in front of an audience, and the conversation turned to you.
Who's the smallest you've ever had sex with?
Oh my god, no one look at me, Kody Ko. I can say that. I was literally 17, I can say that.
This clip started making the rounds and people were understandably perturbed because if Hannah Mojo was 17, you would have been 25. So people started speculating and Hannah decided to set the record straight.
I hooked up with Kody Ko when I was 17 and he was 25.
That's a pretty big difference. That's an 8-year gap, 17 and 25. And some people have been saying, and of course are gonna keep saying, oh, she's 17, it's fine, it's not even that bad. It is that bad, all right? You could say, you know, some states in America, it's 16 years old is the age of consent. But even if that is true, that is still super disgusting for a 25-year-old to be going after a 17-year-old. Even if it was age of consent, which it happens to not be because this took place in Florida, which the legal age is not 16, it is 18. So no matter how you want to look at that, it is illegal. It's a crime. It's a felony, actually. So before you start saying something that, oh, it's not that bad, you know, like people kept saying Dr. Disrespect, 17, 364 days. You can't speculate like that. You can't just assume that they were one day from turning, like it's justifying the whole entire situation. No, it's not. It doesn't make it okay. It's not legal, and it will not be legal. If this happened, then it is a crime. Stop trying to justify it to make it yourself feel better for supporting somebody that you like. Just because you like someone doesn't mean they're perfect. And maybe you, by now, you should have learned that you can't trust everyone on social media. As we've seen, literally like every week, there's been a new allegation coming out about a new content creator. It's kind of ridiculous. Dr. Disrespect, for instance. That's super gross. An 8-year difference when she was a minor. That's not okay at all. You can't spin it any other way. And also, I don't really get why so many people like Kody Ko. I mean, I've never really heard of him or watched his content, but he doesn't seem like it's anything super special. I mean, you could argue the same thing about my content. It's not special. I make the same kind of commentary content as a lot of other channels out there, but still, I'm not saying I'm anything special. But I do not understand why so many people are defending him so strongly whenever it's something this deplorable.
It's at the time, but someone even tried to stop you and you went ahead anyway.
There was a situation with Gabby Hannah at a playlist live where she pulled him aside and told him like, yo, she's 17. And then we still went and hooked up.
To be clear, 17 is under the age of consent in many states, including Florida, where playlist live used to take place. So this means that Tana Mojo is accusing you of statutory rape, and she's not trying to hide that.
This isn't just some crazy tea. It was a crime.
These recent allegations are bad enough on their own, but there are a couple of things that make them worse still. Things that many people don't know yet, but you do. You know that Tana has been making the same specific claim against you for years now. Here she is back in 2021 saying the same thing.
I was 17 at the time, 18. I started kind of hooking up with other people. Shout out JC Kalen, shout out Kody Ko.
But what lends the most credibility to Tana's claims, and what is really the most damning thing for you, Kody, is a clip that you might not have even seen yet. See, I read the Rolling Stone article, I watched the YouTube videos about this, and they all missed something. And I understand why. The clip I'm about to show you is extremely hard to find. The original has been lost to time, and it's a wonder we have this on video at all. But if there was anything to give me any more clarity about these allegations before I formed my opinion, I was going to find it. Remember how Tana said that fellow YouTuber Gabby Hannah tried to stop you before everything allegedly went down? Well, did you know that Gabby is actually on record telling the exact same story several years ago?
One time, I told a guy, I saw him making out with a girl at a party who was underage, and I pulled him aside and I was like, hey man, you probably don't know, I know she like looks a little older, she's underage, watch it. And he's like, oh my god, thank you for telling me. And then he turned that.
This is really, really bad.
Yeah, so this is all, of course, alleged, and there's no hard evidence currently at the moment, and there's no response from Kody Ko. But whenever there's a witness that corroborates the victim's story several years ago that's not trying to jump on the train now and get clout out of it, it kind of makes you look guilty. I'm just saying, you know, and the longer you stay silent, the more guilty you're gonna keep looking because, you know, people want to know why you're not talking about it. Kind of ridiculous that you haven't mentioned it by now when it's been going on for years. It's kind of insane, honestly, that it hasn't been talked about before. And I can't believe I've never heard of this. I have never heard of this. I've never even heard anything about Kody Ko. And I watch a lot of commentary channels. I just can't believe that this has stayed silent for so long. It's ridiculous. Just because someone is well liked in the community. I feel like, I mean, even Dr. Disrespect seemed to be well liked in the community. So I don't know why that blew up before this one. But I guess both of them were a long time ago. But I don't know. It's crazy. Because especially this seemed to be well aware in the more YouTube celebrity community, you know? I don't see how this went under the radar for so long. Now, finally, there's people talking about it with bigger channels, like Charlie just made a video on it, and of course he has a ton of subscribers, which is, thank God he's talking about it, and this guy, obviously, that we're watching his video, he is the main reason why this is coming to light now. It just proves that all you have to be is charismatic and likable for you to be able to get away with a lot of irredeemable things. I mean, just look at Ted Bundy. He was super charismatic. Look how long he got away with doing that horrible stuff. And no, I'm not directly comparing Kody Ko to Ted Bundy, all right? Before you start typing that in the comments, I'm just gonna tell you that right now. But I just think this whole situation is ridiculous. And there are so many people, like I said on Twitter, just going after Tana Mojo just because she's unlikable. I'm not a fan of Tana Mojo, but that still doesn't make it okay to be attacking her just because she is coming out about her story. I mean, yeah, we should be looking at it at a more skeptical scope because she has lied a lot in the past, but especially now that there's a clip of Gabby Hannah corroborating her story many years ago, which I don't even know how he found that clip. That's insane that he was able to find it. I don't know how you would go about starting to find any kind of video. I'm not a investigator, especially not a internet investigator like people on Reddit think they are. But yeah, just because she's an unlikable person doesn't make it okay to blame her for the whole thing and just constantly call her a liar whenever there is stuff like that. We just need to wait for more evidence to come out. You know, it'd be nice if there was more hard evidence because it all is alleged right now. But when you're silent for years and years and years about this, whenever you've known about it, it's kind of ridiculous, honestly. It makes you look guilty. It definitely makes it a lot more likely that it could have happened. So I would hope that Kody Ko will come out soon with some evidence or dispute these allegations, but I guess we're gonna have to see because he's been silent for years about this.
Call out the misogyny, the victim blaming, and all manner of cognitive dissonance that's coming from your audience in the name of defending you against allegations that you're too cowardly to address. And to be clear, this is cowardice because you demonstrate it whenever there's controversy afoot. Tana's further claims make it sound like you're terrified.
I said something about it online and it was starting to surface, and he texted me like, are we good? And was like, I said yeah. And like he was like, my wedding's coming up.
You do have a history of making bad choices when you're terrified of people finding things out, like your history of using slurs.
6, 7, 8, 9,
There's more clips than that, but the reason most people are blissfully unaware of them is because you posted your vague apology not on Twitter, not on YouTube, but on Patreon, despite acknowledging in your apology that the clips were surfacing on Twitter. This is one of many examples of your poor handling of controversy. Not many people know that you've already lost fans over an eerily similar topic. You used to frequently feature and promote your college friend Colby Leachman in your videos, until it came out that during your school days, Leachman's university put him on probation for, as a United States District Judge would later put it, the non-consensual videotaping of a sex act with another student, showing the video to other people, lying to the police about the video, and behaving horribly to that individual and at least one other woman. To make matters worse, the woman in the video also alleged that Leachman drugged her before the recording and that she hadn't actually consented to anything at all. You had this man in your videos. You were telling us to follow him on Instagram, and at some point you did wise up, so he's no longer part of your content, but he still seems like he's very much a part of your friend group. From the continued hangout since then to inviting him to your wedding just last year, people are under the impression that you're best friends with someone who, at best, committed an illegal sex act and at worst is an alleged rapist.
So not only is he being accused of all these things, but these are the kind of friends that he surrounds himself with, which would make sense if he acts like that with underage people, because his friend is just as big of a complete disgusting loser. I mean, I don't know why you would stay best friends with someone like that. It's okay to be friends with someone that has done something bad and you didn't know about it, but once you know about it, you would probably want to separate yourselves from that person because you can't really trust somebody that would do that. And I don't know why you would want to associate with someone that would do that to another person unless you also are that kind of person, which would make sense, you know? A lot of people like to surround themselves with people that are similar to them. That's not something that is exactly easily forgiven. By that I mean it can't be forgiven. And to keep it going, apparently he's also been censoring his YouTube so that you can't see any comments on his YouTube pretty much related to this information coming out.
Say anything at all. You could clarify this, but you won't. But now your cowardice has reached a new low. You've tried speaking and you've tried silence, and now you're choosing censorship. On your YouTube channel, where you've been pumping out content nearly every day now, I couldn't find a single comment on your last video about this situation. Not even one. Comparing that to the comment section on your Instagram, where every single comment I saw was about this, it's clear that you're heavily censoring your audience on YouTube. But surely you must have realized the limits by now, since people have just transferred the conversation over to your wife's channel. The fact that her comment section is overrun due to your decision to stay silent about this should be all the proof you need that that decision was wrong. At this point, your silence and censorship are a response with disturbing implications. The only thing that I've seen this hidden portion of your audience asking for is the truth. So
Yeah, you would think if he was on the right side, he could easily tell the truth and get this all out of the way of his career, but he won't because, you know, it's kind of seeming like he's guilty, but that is alleged, of course. We'll have to wait for him to actually respond or for hard evidence to actually come out about it. And I definitely think the biggest coward award goes to Kody Ko because he decides to censor it all on his YouTube, but lets his wife keep getting all the hate. He's letting his wife get all this hate and still won't respond. That's insane. So let's go ahead right over here and check out Kody Ko's channel. Go to his newest video.
Left, right.
We'll see if he has any new comments. We'll sort by newest first. Okay, so there are some new ones. Wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy. No party like a Diddy party. Yes, we have to unsubscribe. Couldn't keep it in his pants. What a shame. Diddy, no diddling. Why are all these getting canceled? Kody 445. All right, so all the new comments are about it now. Thank God, because I guess all these people talking about it now have finally pushed through. Dang, there's a lot of people now. Unsubscribed, rip, why are all these YouTubers a bunch of dillers? I have no idea. It's kind of getting ridiculous how many are coming out about this. It's crazy. They calling you C Diddy. Oh my gosh. Yeah. The cycle continues. All right, so that's good to see at least that people are starting to leave comments now, but we'll see how long they actually last. You know, maybe we'll check tomorrow and they'll just all be gone. But I feel like now it's finally in the spotlight. So he's going to have to respond, right? Right? He's going to have to respond, right? Anyway, if you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe, share with your friends, your enemies, whoever you want, really. Yeah, see ya. Also, let me know what you think in the comments.
regardless of the truth of the situation, I'm just so disappointed either way.